Yeah, we're live. We live on audio as well?
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, here we go. Let's let these guys know that we're ready. They've been waiting on us. Thanks for tuning in to EGLN.net. We got some 6-on-6 Onslaught Pub Heroes versus DOW, Dogs of War. This is going to be a good match. We have Dawn, Frostbite, and then my most unfavorite map ever, Ascendancy. Let me let them know that we're ready here. Nice. We're getting our countdown going here. Alright. So we're a little bit late to get started today, but hey, you know, that happens sometimes. It's the hazards of live interweb television. So we're gonna see this is the first time we've seen Pub Heroes in action. We've seen DOW before. DOW had lost to Phoenix Rising, a little bit shocking at the time because they were expected to win Arctic Stronghold and they didn't. Asked them about that, they said it was a lack of practice. So they do expect to have a better outing today. As both teams are getting up their primaries, Pub Heroes a little bit faster getting up theirs, but pretty much even, and now we have a slight build in the middle on node number 1. And Pub Heroes are now attacking on that node number 1. So Pub Heroes tonight, we have North Star, Hawk, Broody, excuse me, Gummy God, NNY and Box. NNY, the leader guy here of Pub Heroes. You may know him from being banned from every forum you've ever been a part of. NNY, the infamous NNY. And now we have problems right now on node number 2 for Pub Heroes. DOW already pressuring that node number 2. Now, as you know with Dawn, either one of these two nodes, you have, node number 2, which is now down, node number 2, and node number 5, the two primary nodes for blue. Now what we have to watch right here is as DOW puts a build on node number 2, Pub Heroes can cut them off by taking out node number 1 from their node number 4 there in the middle. So we're going to see if they can do that. But DOW has some tank support over there on that build, and oh wow! Vetus over there with his tank support is keeping that clear, so unless DOW loses node number 1, they should be able to get node number 2 up, and yes, Pub Heroes able to cut off node number 1. So that's what you're gonna see here is a lot of course, the action. Even when the action is pushed through those primary nodes, the key action could still be in that middle because you can see people cutting someone else off. Tonight, by the way, this is Dead Slash doing your commentating for you. I'm alone in the booth tonight. Not actually in a booth. I'm in a room. And now DOW has a build going on number 1, but right as they get that build going, they lose number 2. So we're almost back to square one if Pub Heroes can get their node number 2 back up. And they are working on it right now. I got NNY headed over there. They still have some tank problems, they do have some tank problems over there, but right now it's locked. And it just got unlocked, and yeah. DOW is rolling in quite in force on node number 2, so they seem to have a pretty clear plan of attack. A little bit different than what you'd expect. A lot of times you see teams going very heavily for that tank node, and you'll also notice that there is no danger of DOW losing number 1 right now, because that's completely locked off because they've got a build going on node number 2 as well. So PH is fighting over node number 2. Right now, this is a terrible spot for PH because right now they're fighting for their survival. They have some pressure right now on node number 5, which is their tank node, by the way. They diverted a bunch of resources, or had diverted a bunch of resources to node number 2, and then DOW put some pressure on node number 5. If DOW can get node number 5 down, then they're obviously in very deep trouble, as DOW again with a strong build on node number 2, but you've got Brood coming over in the tank for PH, who's probably going to be able to keep them from building that up all the way. You also have Gummy God, and now there's some Raptor fire there, Fox. And the problem right here, though, that PH is running into is, yeah, they haven't lost that node yet, that node number 2. They haven't lost it completely where their core's been hit, but they're completely defensive mode, excuse me. And what you're seeing out of Club Heroes right now is they're flooding that area because they're not able to hold it, and I don't know if it's a lack of coordination or if DOW was just doing that well as Avitus, taken out by Gummy God. Avitus was really kicking some horse in that tank. Gummy God took him out with the twin beams on his Hellbender. PH now is putting pressure on that node number 4. They almost have that up, but DOW has a presence right there. Now, what I was saying before, what you have out of DOW right here is they're the ones putting all the pressure on. Now, of course, as for the usual cast, once I say that, things seem to be reversing, as you can see that Pub Hero is putting a little bit of pressure on node number 1. And yeah, node number 1 goes down, so for the first time, I think, basically since this game started, node number 2 is locked for Pub Heroes, and builds on both the center nodes. They actually have a full build on node number 4, so they can hit node number 3 for DOW, and they are doing that a little bit. I'm trying to get my camera over there and see what we got. Yeah, we got North Star, formerly KU, over there on a Manta. We got Brood, that's Brood, Nerve, I believe. You got them, they're both putting a build on that bad daddy right now. It's a very small build. They're kind of, it looks like they're abandoning it right now to try to prevent, it appears, they're going to try to prevent DOW from cutting them off maybe, or I'm not really sure. They want to stay away from, or they want to keep them from getting node number 1 up. I'm not exactly sure why everybody left node number 3. They didn't have any company over there. They didn't really put a build on it, and they just kind of handed that back to DOW. So we're almost back to square one, although we do have some pressure here on node number 3. And that's Brood again, Broodrich, or Broody, or the Fox in the Raptor over there. So they take that down. Now this time they're going to put a build on it. Maybe, I was thinking the first time, maybe they were just trying to do a sort of a feint, try to distract them, and this time it looks like they're putting a bit of a build on it. Now if we can get this up, they do have to worry about node number 1, and that, oh, this is interesting. It's quite a standoff here. We're open to the red core, but as Pub Heroes hits that core, they're about to lose their node number 2. They're still, of course, in the by far, and yes, Loki is able to cut them off from building. Excuse me. So they just have node number 3 to worry about right now, as node number 1 belongs to no one. Now Loki is in there for DOW, who is down to 50% now. They really need to do something as that core is getting hammered. DOW, who started off so well, is really not able to recover so quickly here, as Fox was just standing in there with his flat cannon, just raping that core at his leisure. And nobody was really trying to stop him there. But finally, DOW does get that node down and put the build on it. Interesting, because DOW had really been pressing the action, really been in command, and then when they lost their 1 node, they really had a lot of problems recovering from that. So let's see, they're not fully recovered yet. Let's see if they're able to do it. As we have a fight on the ground. Gunslinger, formerly of the Clan Ho. I didn't like him so much when he was in the Clan, but when he left Ho, I like him better. I don't know why. So he's taken out as node number 3 is still getting worked over by Pub Heroes. Pub Heroes with a very small build on that right now. They're defending that node, and that's creeping up on its own. I'm not quite sure they're going to be able to get that up. They're very aggressively. They're pursuing node number 1 to try to keep themselves sealed off at node number 4, and they do it. So their node number 4 is sealed off. They have that node is available again. So they're going to be hitting that core. There they are. They're on the core. And it looks Pub Heroes is really in command right now. And Pub Heroes loses that primary node to DOW. So DOW with 2 players there. Super Center, cut in half by KU Northstar. KU Northstar, formerly KU Northstar Pub Heroes. Really, well, he's been known for his Manta driving skills. I know I had some problems with him when we played KU back in the day. And he's been doing a couple of tricks in this one too, so looking pretty good. And right now, Pub Heroes, who started off pretty crappy to be honest, is commanding this map right now. They have all the 1 node in their possession. They do have some pressure on node number 1, but that's really not the focus right now. Because DOW back on their heels, They're just trying to hold node number 6 right now, as their tank is taken out. Over on node number 6, Box jumps out of the sky, takes Super Center home out of his tank with an ammo and some flak. He ends up dying, but he did his job. He took that tank out. So DOW now putting pressure on that node number 3 as their core is open, and yeah, as you can see, at the end of the match there, North Star and Brood in those vantage. Take a look at the scores. You got Brood with 51, formerly KU Box of PH is there 42, 33 for North Star, 29 for Hawk, 17 for Gummy, and NY, the pub superstar there. I don't know, only 17. What's up with that? Over on the DOW side, Avitas, formerly SCK, was their leader, and then the map changed before I could give everyone a score. Ugh, how ignorant. So DOW loses that one. We're going to switch sides, and that was, I was kind of surprised. I wasn't surprised so much at the fact that DOW lost the match, although I do expect DOW to bounce back on this one. But in the very beginning of that match, Pub Heroes really looked like, they just weren't ready for DOW. They were pressed back. DOW had the advantage, and they failed to close on it. When the tide turned, Pub Heroes did not make the same mistake. Pub Heroes was able to close that one out. So a good job by Pub Heroes on that one. And let's see if we've had any lineup changes for this. It does not appear that we have. I'm taking a look at the over for DOW. We got Barshall, formerly easy for me to say, formerly of UMA, Avitas of SCK, and Gunslinger Cybermax, the man of all clans. I swear, I think the only clan he's never been in is TZ. He's, let's see, he founded LLS back in the day. I know I've seen him on T5K. He's on DOW now, I believe, on loan. And he's also the champion of ONS Central Mixers. How about that? So, we got Loki, Super Center Ho, and let's see. We're having some technical issues right here, so hold on a second while I work on that, because I can't type and talk at the same time. I'm not that good. I got a shout out from X-Cannon. Host. Can't disagree with him right there. Definitely very, very hard to do an onslaught cast by yourself. I gotta be honest with you. It's difficult. I'd like to go in. I got all these funny notes and all these things I like to work in, but it's hard because there's action all over the place. What are you gonna do? So we have Captain Howdy, who's doing our camera work today, was just dropped, amazingly. What a shock, right? That happening on the internet these days, He's on his way back in. As soon as he gets in, we're going to be able to get you some camera work here and get back live. So I'm sure you're very excited about that. Alright, so we should be back. We should have the stream. We should be live. Sure. We'll get them the okay if it's more action. Right now with all of it safe. Alright, online all nicely. Letting us know so we can give them the okay and we can get to work on this bad daddy. Alright. Over on the Pub Hero side for this round we got Hawk, Broody, which is Broodwitch, NNY, North Star Box, and Gummy God. Pub Hero is a rather new clan, actually. They're kind of new on the scene. They've been around for about a month, NNY was telling me. Talked to them before the match. As far as predictions for the match go, this is interesting. Both teams, get this, both teams thought that they were going to win every map. Wow. You don't expect that, do you? Well, they did. Which I guess pretty much every team expects, unless you're playing maybe pure, since KONA is not around, and the old school SCK, so you got pretty much pure is the one that I think nobody can hope to beat. Otherwise, you think you can beat them, you wouldn't play them, would you? Alright, we got our countdown going, and as soon as we get underway, we're going to see if DOW can start off fast again and this time close, or is PH going to start off fast now that they sort of got their groove on and end up just crushing DOW. Give these guys a couple seconds to get their strat set up. So both teams now have their primaries built, and you see that, DOW has a build at node number 4, and Super Center Ho just got cut in half by NNY, flying around like a madman in that Manta. NNY now on the ground by node number 4. He's got some Manta company there. It's Loki. And he, oh no, talk about owned. NNY popped a combo on Loki, blew him out of his Manta. Oh no, that's an uninstall moment. Very embarrassing, but then NNY is scrambled apart by a tank shell, so I guess Loki was avenged. He doesn't have to uninstall, not yet anyway. Avidas in the tank for DOW. He's been having a pretty good in the of them as he defends himself right there. There's a little Manta action. DOW now. DOW just lost their node number 4. They have a couple guys on the ground there. Over on node number 1, we've got a build for PH. They've only got one person there. That's Hawk. Cyberman X, the man of all clans, and Mixer Champion is over there. He's trying to get everything going. He's got some. Okay, now he's got a little bit of support coming in from a Raptor, but he's also got somebody behind him. That's Hawk. Hawk shoots him in the hindsight, which I always think is preferable. Like that investment, they don't see. Node number 1, and yeah, very quickly PH linking up, gets that thing up. Now they're going to see if they can do something with it. And yes, very quickly they're already got 4 down, so they blocked that way. Now what they need to do is surge on to 2. But they do have, there's quite a presence. Well, there's a presence from DOW, and they blew that out, but that's because they've got 3 guys hanging out there. The problem, 4 guys hanging out there. The problem is you got 4 guys hanging out there, you're not doing anything anywhere else, so maybe some miscommunication on Pub Heroes, or maybe they really like node number 1, but it seems like half their team's there, and they almost lost it anyway, so. Now over on node number 4, let's see if DOW takes advantage of the massing of PH troops over on node number 1. Let's see, we got a build there on node number 4. Vetus is overlooking them in the tank. He's also getting some shots across on node number 1. He's got some company now. This is Avidas in the tank. He's overlooking the whole thing, and wow, he blew North Star in the next week, and he is still hitting that. You see this a lot with the tanks here, and from across the map, node number 1 under fire from Avidas in the tank, and he's got like half a health. It's unbelievable, and you see they have it with a absolutely good tank person, and that is yeah, that's extremely impressive, and that's one of the things is how you do your tank work, or how your tank work goes. That's one of the things that commands the map for you. You get your map has their key, and I think Raptors and tanks kind of gets hand in hand, because if your Raptors are on fire, you're keeping the enemy's tanks out of it. Now we have that battle going on in the middle right now. The advantage is the Pub Heroes. Pub Heroes has node number 2. It seems like they've had node number 2 open for DOW forever, and they're not really putting any pressure on it. I'm surprised that they haven't at least put a fake on it, or at least feign suppression. Now finally they put some pressure on it, at least to make DOW react and pull them away, keep them from putting so much pressure on node number 1 and 4. And yeah, they do have that pressure going on right there. Let's see. Scrambling over there to see what's going on there. And oh wow! Somebody shot an airstrike. Boy, you almost never see those land anymore. How about that? That's an antique. So the airstrike kind of quiets things down in the middle right there, and you have node number 2 and node number 4 open. DOW getting the build on node number 2, but yeah, PH had gotten node number 2 down, and I guess they did it as a fake to try to take the pressure off the middle, but didn't take advantage of it. Now they're headed over there, but as you can see, if camera is on there right now, over at node number 2, that's built almost all the way back up. Now they do have, Pub Heroes has 2 people there in that area, but you can see the DOW also on the place right there. They have Marshall now over the Raptor Riesco company. That's Cyberman X. So they're going to be able to get that node back up. So node number 2 is back up, and that's going to open up those 2 middle nodes. We've got Vita, DOW's trying to bomb down on there. On node number 4, yeah, they're able to take node number 4 down before they lose their tank node. Another airstrike. Would you believe it? I didn't get to see who dropped that airstrike. I think that was actually a DOW airstrike. So, you know, you would think Pub Heroes were used to people using that airstrike. They're able to see that coming and shoot it down. Over on node number 1, we got a battle going. That one's about to go down. And yes, node number 1 is down. DOW's got a presence over there as NNY is trying to put some pressure on node number 5, but he's all alone there, but he's doing an incredible job there on the ground, and now he's got some company in the mana. It looks like they're gonna be able to get that, and they do. Gunslinger trying to jump in that tank, but it was too late. Now there's a huge presence of Pub Heroes right here on this tank node for DOW. Unfortunately for them, there's an incoming tank coming at them, and he's got somebody charging them. So they're going to try to keep that down. This is DOW's got a tank incoming on their own tank node, trying to keep Pub Heroes from building that up. Boy, this is huge here. Vetus is right there, and now they took it down and they got a build on it, but they don't have a tank to come save it over there. So if PH gets another build on this thing, they're going to lose it. PH really came hard at that. Good job by DOW to fight them off. PH, I think, had 4 people there. Pub Heroes. Stop calling PH. They sound like a Pert shampoo commercial. It's pH balanced. So, anyway. Taking a look at node number 5, they're running another link train right here. This is, I got Box, North Star, Brood. They're building this Bad Daddy up. They're already sending somebody to the core. They know they're going to get it. It's up, and that core is open. Vetus is rolling his tank down in that area. Oh, he takes out North Star as he's rolling down there. You see somebody's running in there. They're on foot trying to go at that tank. And finally, they are getting that pressure on there. Vetus is approaching node number 5 with his tank. They're going to get that tank down as fast as possible. Obviously, in Onslaught, it's not the best idea to sit there and defend your core. You got to cut those nodes out, and that's what they did. Vetus with still about half a tank left. So that's pretty good. And now you can see you see that PH is trying to put a build on node number 5. What DOW is doing right now is they were trying to cut them off at node number 4. But one step ahead of them, PH cut that effort off by taking down node number 1. Got node number 5 back up. DOW is in a lot of trouble right now. So DOW now, that tank node, they have Brood, oh wow, Brood and his tank is on a killing spree right now. He's firing his tank into the base. We can take a look at Brood right now. What a jerk. He's propped up on this hill. He's shooting right into the base. Great spot for his tank. Now you got the Raptors coming in. Oh, mercy me. He takes out a Vetus. Look at him going. His tank, double kill. Oh, wow. What a jerk. If this was a pub, I'd vote him off. Because I would say, oh, that's so cheap. But actually, it's not cheap. Now, finally, some Raptor. Yeah, DOW had enough of that nonsense. Took him out of there. But wow, what a run right there by Brood in the tank. That was impressive. I gotta remember to use that. That was nice. That was a nice spot. He was shooting in right on the core there. So they got that pressure on the core. They're still going on that core. They still got their node number 5. They finally lost it. So DOW core is safe at 40. 39 if you want to be technical. And then Ryo, right, Johnny on the spot, is right there ready to start a build. Pub Heroes has those 2 middle nodes, so that's not really a concern for them. Right now, they're only concerned with number 5 getting that thing up as NNY cut in half by Loki. Well, that was awful mean. Now we've got, oh, here we go. Excellent teamwork by Pub Heroes. Coming in 3 men, Clown Car and Manta, and they arrive all on the scene at the same time. Node number 5. Unfortunately, there was a tank shell waiting for him. It was a Vetus, was delivering that express. So that was nice of him, not good for them. DOW getting attacked on both their nodes. This is a smart tactic by PH because, excuse me, I'm Pub Heroes. I'm not going to call him PH anymore, I swear. But DOW. I'm calling him DOW when I mean to call him DOW. I don't know what's wrong with me, and I apologize to everyone. Terrible announcement for that. But now, DOW has got a build on that middle node. They're putting pressure on node number 1. Well, they were putting pressure on node number 1, and yes, now they are again. They've got Cyberman X is over there putting pressure on that with his mantle. He is enlightened by Box, and that's the end of him. So they still have that solid build over there on node number 1. They still have a build over there on node number 1. That is Pub Heroes still. I believe I heard an airstrike in there. I didn't see where that landed though. But now, Pub Heroes again putting that pressure over on that node number 2. That forces DOW to address that. Even if they don't put a build on there, DOW scrambles people over there, and they have to get that thing built back up again. What DOW did last match that was kind of smart was they just sort of tapped that. They knew that PH wasn't putting a build on it. They were just sort of using it to distract them, and they would tap it and leave it, and PH figured that out and started actually putting a build on that DOW node. So now you still have the war in the middle here. DOW loses node number 4, which they had for a while. Node number 2 still open for DOW. That's something that Pub Heroes can attack as soon as they would want to. They got a build going on node number 4. DOW is attacking node number 1, Marshall over there. Marshall in the Mesa tonight. Marshall, as we know, a shock core monster. He's magic. Primeval with his shock rifle. He's fooling around there near node number 5 and he ate a shock core, and that's the end of Marshall on that one. So we're approaching overtime on this one. DOW not in a very good spot. We're approaching overtime. We got DOW, their tank node is open, and that's what Pub Heroes is going for. DOW is able to take work out, and Pub Heroes is no longer able to get their tank node number 5. As we go into overtime, DOW's going to need a small miracle to beat Pub Heroes. Now, of course, as I say that, Pub Heroes has no building winning, and DOW has won. Why would I expect anything less than the opposite of what I expected to happen? Probably should keep my mouth shut. Pub Heroes by saying that they're going to win this one. They are in the driver's seat at this point, as DOW moving forward from their node number 5, trying to take out the Pub Heroes node number 4, but at the same time, Pub Heroes putting a lot of pressure on their node number 1. Looks like Pub Heroes is going to get node number 1 from DOW. Yeah, DOW loses that. They got to build on it. This is Pub Heroes, but DOW does have a presence over there. There's 1 man versus 2, and DOW now has another airstrike. You know, there's been so many airstrikes that I'm almost you would think that at this point someone would have shot that down at least once. Well, maybe it has. Right now going over the middle, so let's look at this. Let's wind it down. Who we have for DOW Marshall? I was talking about his shotgun prowess. 61. He's been cruising around in 52 points for him. Super Center, I believe. I have been seeing him in the Manta. He's also formerly of Ho. You may have guessed that since he has Ho still in his name. Cyberman X, the man of every clan. 36 points, Loki 23, and Gunslinger with 20 points. Over the other side, as we have, well, we're going to break from the score update as node number 3 has got a little bit of pressure on here. And no, node number 3, DOW, had pressure on node number 3, trying to make a comeback there, but Pub Heroes was able to cut them off at the pass by taking out node number 4. So they were very close to getting that down. It's about, well, it's about half of a quarter, whatever that would be. I guess that would be an eighth. Half of a quarter or an eighth. An eighth probably would be the smarter thing to say. But I didn't think about it until I had said half of a quarter first. So now DOW, Tide's turn. DOW on their non-tank node has some pressure. Oh no! Loki just got wasted point blank with a flak rifle over there on. That's Hawk that's on the ground. The only player on the ground right now is Hawk. He is for Pub Heroes. There's no DOW member there. DOW, there's just a half a sliver of health right there. DOW cuts them off at node number 1. Pub Heroes was about to have that. Now, go back and forth battle right here in the middle as they go back and forth. And getting these non-essential, well, non-key tanking is knocked down a little bit there on both sides. Now, node number 4 is up for DOW. Let's see if they go over node number 3. Node number 3, let me see how repaired they have that over there, if at all. No, not enough. It was almost all the way down, and now it is down. DOW is getting a build on it, folks. They're down 32-9. It's overtime. They got to get a build, and then they got to get some pressure on that core, and they got to do it fast. There's no build on 1, so they're fine at 4. All they have to worry about right now is they're down to 8 overall core health. All they have to worry about is getting that up. And oh no, it looks like Pub Heroes is able to fend them off, but I expect DOW to come in full force. This is beautiful. What a way to close this match, making a run for it. Unfortunately for DOW, Pub Heroes is able to get 3 all the way up. They also have a build on node number 1, making 4 susceptible for DOW. Over on the Pub Heroes side, by the way, we got Broody with 67, Box with 57, Star with 56, NNY with 55, Demigod 54, Hawk with 47. So pretty even there, except for Broody really standing out for them. And now the pressure over on node number 2. Pub Heroes takes that down. We have Box over there on node number 2. Who's a bit of a charge on that. And yeah, that's it. It's not going to come down to the front. So pretty copycats. 72 each. Pub Heroes takes both rounds of Dawn. So Pub Heroes puts DOW against the wall going into Frostbite, and Frostbite, I don't know. I know both teams are confident about it, but I think that I'm going to predict Pub Heroes takes Frostbite. I know that there's some well, I don't know. It's going to be a close one. We'll have to see how it is on the ground. That's what it's up to. But I'm going to say that Pub Heroes takes it. Although you do have Barshal, who is an absolute DM monster. I believe Super Center Ho is very good, and then Cyberman X is pretty good at everything. He's not great at anything. I think that's the rap for him. I don't know if that's any good for him. So we're gonna have the teams. Let's see. Wow, hopefully nobody got disconnected here. We still have some camera work. I think everybody's good. We're gonna have Frostbite as this map. Now, if Pub Heroes does win this match, then obviously it's over, but if DOW manages to take both these, we're going to go to Ascendancy, which, as I've said, beaten to death, is my most unfavorite map ever. Nice big map with a big levee, a big ugly map, and all kinds of vehicles. 6 people and 30 mantas. Ridiculous. But, luckily, before going to the biggest map, we're on one of the smallest, Frostbite. So this is more of a DM-intensive map. We're going to see a lot of fighting going on in the middle. That's where you're going to see the key to this, or where you're going to see the men separate themselves from the boys here is when node number 3 goes up. If one team is going to blow out the other team, then they're going to hold that node, and that's basically what's going to happen. I mean, even if one team is better than the other, you know, they might be able to. It's going to take them a while to get that node up. It's when there's a different level in the skill level, you're really going to see by how quickly they hold it and how coordinated the team is by how well they hold it. It's a lot easier to get that node up than it is to hold that thing up and actually hit the other team's core. And we saw that when DOW played. When Global played Vox. That was the map that last time we did Frostbite. We saw that both teams traded that off for a while, and then Global at one point got it up, took nearly all the core off in one shot, and then finished off in the other. And then in the following map, it was a series of Vox taking that node and ever so slightly each time, only having it up for a few seconds at a time, but Global was never able to get it up and keep it up. So you see the 2 different kind of styles right there, where one was able to get it up, keep it up, do all the damage, then the other one was just sort of a trickle. So we'll see what we got in this one. We got people trickling in here. We've got, for DOW, we've got Avitas, Marshall, Loki, Buck Wild. That dude's crazy. It's Buck Wild. Buck Wild. Cyberman X, Super Sinner, Poe. Over for Puppet Heroes, North Star, Hawk, NNY, Box, Broody, and Gummy God. Yeah, well, we've made it almost through a whole match, and I don't believe that NNY's gotten banned from anything. So that's, I think that's a record for him, to be quite honest with you. We're getting ready to go here. I'm not really sure why Super Sinner Ho isn't joining yet. We have a 7th person in here. Very, very confusing. No one has cleared this with me. I don't know what's going on. Well, we have an extra person in here right now, and I'm not really sure what in the blue hell is going on, so we continue to watch warm-ups. Let's see. What do we got while we watch warm-ups? Sure I have something interesting. Oh, we can go over a little bit of DOW's history. DOW, of course, stands for Dogs of War. Dogs of War was formed in early 2004. They actually were going to form in 2003, and it didn't rhyme, so they waited for January of 2004 to form, so they could say Dogs of War since 2004. That's a true story, I'm not kidding. The original 6 members, all of which played UT 2003. Big Dog is the only active member still playing, and we have not seen Big Dog tonight. We saw him in our last matchup. There's no Big Dog around today. Bob Barker always tells us, remember to have your pets spayed and neutered. DOW joined the TWL ladder. I keep calling him DOW, and I should be saying DOW. So, DOW is Dogs of War. DOW is a cleaning product. I gotta remember cleaning product. Scrubbing bubbles, as we saw in our forum thread. There was a little trash being talked between the two teams. DOW joined the TWL ladder in January 2005. Their highest rank in the ladder, I believe, was number 4, and then they lost that in a tough battle. They've got a couple. They're sort of a mongrel clan. All kinds of different clans rolled into them. You've got the Brotherhood of Beer merged with them in 2005. Factor 8. I don't even know how to say his name. Subrini. Whatever. Suybhne. Subni. It's like Sobe, but spelled different. It is how I say it. And he was from Factor 8, who I played a lot of deathmatch with. They weren't that good, so he moved up in the world. They're not around anymore. Thunder and Loki came in from NBK. I believe I played briefly with NBK. I was in NBK for like a week. That's a quick one right there from me. Gunslinger joined from Ho in 2006. Gunslinger led Ho for quite a while. And Marshall, Cyberman X, and Avitas are all assisting. I guess they're sort of like stars. They're guest stars on the team. Just because DOW is a little bit low on players. 3 really good guys to have as guest stars on your team. I'll tell you that right now. Sweeney. Okay, well, I'm being told from our Osaka, Japan studios, the proper way to say Suybhne is Sweeney. So I'm not sure I believe that, but let's see if we have any shout-outs. By the way, IRC Pound Game Surge, excuse me, Pound EGLN and GameSurge.net for IRC. I don't really want to shout out Sweeney. Sweeney's not playing though. Yes, he is. I think. I don't know. There's shout-outs going everywhere. We don't have somebody in the studio today, so I'm trying to tap back and forth. And you know, it's hard. It's really hard to do, I gotta be honest with you. So let's see. Oh, I got a shout-out from Gunslinger. Gunslinger is looking to shout out Doc Holliday. I'll tell you a story about a doc that I had on my team. I had a doc, I wonder if it's the same guy. I believe that it's the same name. We had a guy on TZ. He was on TZ for about a week. Let me tell you why he quit. didn't like strategy. He didn't like vehicle assignments, like people saying, okay, let's get on with Manta. True story. No, it's Doc Savage, I'm sorry. So, this gunslinger shout out, Battle Axe and Doc Savage, both tuning in for the first time today, so welcome to the cast. Normally they're a lot better, and we are underway here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And normally the casts are a lot better because there's two people, and that's always better. On S, very, very hard. As the first build is going to go to Pub Heroes, but you see the Clown Car, DOW, Clown Car Manta, they got a pile of people flowing in there, and it's all out war in the middle, and that's what we're going to see for this entire matchup. It's going to be just bloody war right in the middle, where you're going to have the tanks arriving, the Mantas, you're going to have the Raptors trying to take out the tanks, and if they can't, then the tanks are going to go in and they're going to raise hell in the middle, and it's going to be a repeating cycle. What the team's going to have to do to get that middle up is they're going to have to take out the other team's tank, they're going to have a successful run with their Raptor, they're going to have to take out the other team's tank, they're going to have to get everybody in there, get a build going, and then normally what you'll see is once that tank is out, you're going to see those Raptors covering over that primary node, and DOW looking very good. They got a 3-man link in it, and there DOW is up already. Now you've got an insurge of Pub Heroes guys. 3 just came in. DOW is hitting that core. They're about to lose that middle node, but they've done almost 80 points of damage, almost 20 points of damage, down almost to 82 points. So there's still a presence for DOW in the middle here. PH has 2 people here as well. Right now, nobody's going to build on it. We're going to see Pub Heroes puts a build on there, but that doesn't last long. We've got, of course, DOW and we've got PH both in there now. PH has been cleared out, so we have DOW. Now PH arrives again. So we're seeing a lot of coordination. What you'll see sometimes out of teams is, ooh, nice move by Box. Box comes in with his Manta, and after pancaking someone, he is evicted from his place with a tank shell from Cyberman X, who was in the tank. Cyberman X, don't see him in the tank a lot. I wonder why that is. I don't know if he's going to be in the tank for this one, or he just grabbed it because it was available. But right now, currently, there's no build. Big battle road, it's always going to be in the middle. And what you're going to see, what you've seen so far, both teams, DOW and PH, as DOW gets a build on this, have been very good at coming in waves. You'll see with some teams, they sort of come in with a trickle, and if you have a bunch of Rambos, I guess that can be okay, because they can go in there and they can stay in there. But the teams that master this map are the teams that come in wave, just like Primeval, where you have to have, as a team, you have to surge forward past that primary node and move forward, and that's the way that you win in Primeval. It's pretty much the same thing with this. You need to hit this node as a team. You also have to have that tank cleared out, which is not happening right now. Gummy God and the Raptor removes the tank for DOW. So DOW is tankless, but they have a Manta in the middle. So, boy, this one looks like it's going to be a real stalemate so far. Nobody really has asserted themselves except for the very beginning. DOW made a run on that, and maybe they just took Pub Heroes by surprise. Kind of like in the first map, where DOW had a great run in the very beginning and then sort of petered out. Let's see if that's what happens again. Is right now the main presence is is Pub Heroes, but DOW, you see Gunslinger there, and his Raptor gets removed from his Raptor thanks to an Avril. Gunslinger now on the ground right there. The only person that's standing between that build and... No, I'm sorry, he's been killed, so... Pub Heroes now has a build on this, and here we go, Loki has arrived. Loki Johnny on the spot with his Manta. But, just in time. Pub Heroes still has a build on it, but Cyberman X is in the tank. So, Cyberman X distracted by the Manta, not getting that node down too much. They still have the build on it. Buck Wild, he's crazy. He's Buck Wild, that guy. Comes in there and he's killed immediately. Pub Heroes has a build. Pub Heroes! We got a live core, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Pub Heroes now has a shot at that core. They haven't started hitting DOW's core yet. DOW has a Manta in there. That's Loki and the Manta. They've got that down almost halfway, 3/4 of the way. And Pub Heroes has lost node number 3 without hitting the primary node of DOW one time. So, not really sure if DOW just happened to kill everybody once they got that up, or it was just poorly coordinated, or what happened. But there was no... They weren't able to get that any points off the core, which has got to be very, very disappointing. In this map, when you get that node up, it's an event, and not being able to do anything with it is always disappointing, especially when the other team just did, and they were able to capitalize for almost 20 points of damage. Pub Heroes now with another build. Cyberman X and his tank is creeping over there. You got Gunslinger is roaming around on the top. Gunslinger, who I believe has been in the Raptor for most of the time, so he's been doing a pretty good job in that. I have not really seen. I'm going to cycle through and try to find out who is running in the tank for. Alright, NNY is in the tank for Pub Heroes. I've been hanging over the middle and watching that, and I really haven't seen NNY where I haven't seen their tank involved pretty much at all. So excellent job of DOW keeping that tank out of it. And as I'm following NNY right now, I see that he's got Gunslinger. So Gunslinger is in the Raptor is owning the tank right now for DOW. He's owning Pub Heroes' tank. So DOW, that's a huge advantage. If you don't have a tank in Frostbite, you really cut down. And DOW now with a huge build, and yes, DOW has the build, they have it up. See if they have another coordinated attack. Pub Heroes has some presence there. Wow, very, very quickly. Pub Heroes swarms. Only 2 points of damage, rounding it out to 20, so I can say they did 20 damage instead of about 20, so I appreciate that from DOW. But Pub Heroes takes that down very, very quickly. So, Pub Heroes has a build on this. Very, very coordinated in taking that down. Amazing that they weren't as coordinated once they had it up and getting some damage there. But you see they've got 3 guys, there's 2 vehicles that they're worried about right here. And yeah, the vehicles are going to win out on this one. They had 3 Pub Heroes, they almost had this up, and now you have Cyberman X. Cyberman X has been doing the job in the tank. It seems like, I'm hanging out over this node, and it seems like very, very often they're about to get a build in there and then something happens. But now I see NNY. Oh, pardon me, that was Gummy God who was in the tank right there, who had creeped it up on the hill. He was bombing that down, but he was quickly removed. So trying to look at something different with the tank, but it doesn't work out for Pub Heroes. DOW's got their build on in the middle, but Pub Heroes has a strong presence there. DOW now has Samantha support, throwing Box out of the picture. But almost as soon as you say, okay, DOW's going to have the advantage there, you see that Pub Heroes keeps flooding in. Very, very good coordination from both teams. Both teams, nobody's trickling in. They're coming in waves, and here we go. Now DOW gets this up, but Pub Heroes has got a presence right in there. That core is up. DOW hasn't hit yet, and as quickly as they get it up, it goes down. So, Pub Heroes is halfway there. They're swarming on this node when it's up, and they take it down faster than you can say sprechen Sie Deutsch. That's fast, but for whatever reason they're not able to coordinate that into getting the node up. They might be able to do it now as Brood in the tank. They're doing tank by committee. I wonder if they don't have somebody chosen for the tank. And here we go now. Pub Heroes gets this up. They have a strong presence in the middle. Let's see if they're able to actually hit the core this time, as DOW is already hitting this with their Scorpion. Yes, they are hitting it now. We've got an incoming airstrike. We've got three Pub Hero players, now down to 2. Somebody left in the man. 3 Pub Hero players keeping this thing charged. We're fully charged. We got Northstar, Brood, and Gummy God here keeping this thing charged. DOW now down to 70 points in core. So DOW putting pressure on there as Loki comes in with a Manta. He's blown into next week. They're coming in with another Manta now. This one's buck wild, and they got to do something. They're losing their core. We got Cyberman X is crawling up in that tank, but look at this. They're waking up to this thing, even with the tank there. And now DOW coming in force. DOW trying very hard to get this node down, but look at this. Pub Heroes still has it up. This is unbelievable. Incredible teamwork and timing by Pub Heroes. They haven't hit the core in a few seconds. They finally lost that, but wow, that was a really, really good, strong effort from Pub Heroes. And right now, Pub Heroes is really looking good because, once they got that up, they were relinquishing that. There was a tank in there, folks. A tank came in, and they held that thing off. They held the tank off. So that's incredible. Anybody here who's played Onslaught, you try keeping anything charged when the other team has a tank on there, and they were able to do it. So, wow, a very coordinated effort from Pub Heroes. These guys clearly have some chemistry. Cyberman X now, coming in with his tank. NNY, up on the ridge, had that double damage, took him out from above. 2 minutes remaining this one. Dow is going to have to make a move as we've got a build going right here for Pub Heroes. Pub Heroes doing what they need to do right now, and they're just keeping this thing protected. I mean, at this point, they'd love to get it up and get that Senator up and finish this thing, but I'm sure they'll just be content to keep it from going into Dow's hands and just taking the win in overtime. But maybe they won't play careful, and sometimes when people play careful, that works against them. They end up losing the match because of that. So they got that build that's almost up. They're not linking it a lot. It's just up from them defending so well that Dow's not able to get in there and hit it. And yeah, as soon as it goes up now, we have Cyberman in his tank is on top of it. He has an escort, but that tank is almost taken out. Yeah, the tank is taken out before they can take the node down, but then Cyberman goes in and takes the node down himself. So he's quickly cut in half by a Manta. Now Dow has a build on this Bad Daddy. Dow's got 2 people in there, Sweeney and Loki, and they got that build. They got the build almost up, but look at that, just in the nick of time. Wow. That was as close as you can get to having a build and not having it, and of course, as soon as Pub Heroes arrived, they arrived in force, and as soon as they got there was no chance of getting that bad boy up. It wasn't happening. Hawk's got a full tank. Pub Heroes has been hanging out in that tank longer than is acceptable on this map. I don't know where the Raptor is right now for Dow, but it needs to be in his face because he's just riding around doing whatever he pleases. Here comes Cyberman X. We got an airstrike coming in. This is going to be an airstrike from Pub Heroes. Pulverizes Gummy Gods, so someone actually died by the airstrike. Embarrassment. Loki comes in. We're in overtime. Loki, the only presence right now for Dow. We might have a full build here from Pub Heroes. Dow is creeping in. Yes, they have 2 guys there, but they're able to get it up anyway. Wow. Dow is right there, but they